of the vehicle right now.
Yes, I believe that the main parachute will be deployed soon.
It's good to hear their voices on the other side of the calm blackout phase. And the speed by now is dramatically reduced. Right now is going at around 200 meters per second. This is reduced from 7 kilometers per second, but it's still going too fast. Oh, there you go. The parachute's kicking in.
So this is a drogue chute. So it will reduce the speed of the main parachute.
That's the first of the 3 parachutes, right?
Yeah. And next will be the deployment of the main parachute.
What a gorgeous shot of Shenzhou-21 coming down there.
So this is the main parachute.
A successful parachute deployment.
The total square of this main parachute is 1,200 square meters, so very huge.
It's huge. It's 3 size of a basketball court.
And it is now already fully deployed.
It is going to further decelerate the spacecraft.
Exactly.
You really couldn't ask for a more perfect shot.
So you can see that in the Dongfeng landing site, the weather is so fine, the sky is so clear, and the next critical step will be about at 6 kilometers high, will be the jettisoning of the main heating shield.
Really a picture-perfect view there. Yeah, like you said, in a few minutes, the bottom heat shield will be dropped, exposing the landing thrusters. And there's about 10 kilometers to go. If you're just joining us, you're looking at a live view of Shenzhou-21, which has just re-entered the Earth atmosphere after departing the Tiangong Space Station. You can get a clear look of the
It's very clear, and
module.
also there's no much strong wind, so you can see that the spacecraft is very stable.
It is approaching the ground of Dongfeng landing site in Inner Mongolia. It is continuing to descend under those chutes. Everything continued to look good, a good visual confirmation of the capsule. And the taikonauts have been trained for this landing.
Exactly.
Right.
But the most inconvenient part has already been passed. I mean, the great G forces and the vibration has already gone. So the next step, as I mentioned, I believe that the main heating shield will be jettisoned within 1 minute.
Right. They've also got a backup parachute as well.
Exactly. So if anything wrong happened to the main parachute, the backup parachute will be deployed. It's a little bit smaller than the main parachute.
Right. And when you look at these reentries, some countries use soft landing on the surface of the ocean. How do things compare?
Well, this is also a soft landing on the land. What you mentioned is a splashdown. So it's different, use different technology. Both have advantages and disadvantages. For the splashdown, it will need a greater recovery team because it's hazardous in the ocean. So landing on the Earth, on the surface of the Earth, so it's a little more difficult for the touchdown. So that's the reason we need the retro rocket to continuously, to furtherly slow down the vehicle. So the technology is much more complex than splashdown, but it's easier for the ground team to recover the spacecraft.
And why does the Dongfeng landing site being chosen as the landing site? What advantages does it have?
One important thing is that it's less populated, so it's a Gobi Desert. The second is very close to the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center. So the rescue team can be the same one with the rescue team for the emergency return during the launch. So, okay, the main heating shield has already been jettisoned. So usually we can see at this, after this moment, we can see some fog released from the re-entry capsule. This is because you know that the re-entry capsule has a very small propulsion system, and we must release all the propellant because it's toxic. To make it safety for the ground crew and for the astronauts.
And once they've dropped the heat shield at the bottom, our air unit could start flying to the landing location. They were on standby from a safe distance.
Yes. And just several seconds before, we can see that the re-entry capsule has changed direction to a completely vertical one. So this is also one important measure. And next, I believe there will be the reading of the position of the seats of the 3 astronauts. So this is also to dump the energy on the impact when touchdown.
Yeah, a good way to reduce the force of impact during landing.
Yeah.
So after the seats are lifted, we'll soon have the landing burns. It will reduce the impact to a minimum.
Yes. We have 4 solid rockets, small solid motors. So just about 1 or 2 meters above the surface, the rockets will be burned, and the speed will be reduced to about 1 to 2 meters per second.
And during the descent, the taikonauts will feel multiple G-force of impact. It's not a comfortable ride, but they're trained for this. What kind of final preparation the taikonauts will do now for landing? How will they embrace landing?
Well, it's comparing with what we mentioned about the G-forces during the re-entry procedure, it's really relatively relaxed now. You know that during the previous return, we can see that they talk in a very carousel. So at this moment, already the most critical parts have already been passed, and you know that the next step will be the duty of Mr. Wu Fei, because his code is 02. He just sit on the right of Mr. Zhang Lu, and he will be in charge of cutting off the rope of the main parachute when touchdown.
We've got a veteran taikonaut, Zhang Lu, which is good. He's familiar with the drill. I mean, he can tell his team members what's going on every step of the way.
Yeah. So you can see the white fork, which is the release of the propellants, liquid propellants inside the re-entry capsule.
Yeah.
To ensure the safety of our ground crew.
Excessive fuel, to reduce the risk of explosion at the time of landing as well. And that is happening at about 3 kilometers above ground.
Yeah.
They will be landed in just a few minutes.
You know, there are several thrusters on the surface of the re-entry capsule to change its attitude during the re-entry. So during the re-entry, we still can control the trajectory. The GNC system can targeting the theoretical landing point to make it more accurate.
Now it is descending at a speed of about 7 meters per second. Soon it'll be reduced to 2 meters per second after the landing burn. And that's going to happen at around 1 meter above ground. I mean, landing on the side is also acceptable, right? But which position is the most ideal? Some say horizontal landing
position. Vertical, of course, will be the most convenient. But that only happened twice during the Shenzhou-6 mission and the Shenzhou-13 mission. Because the 02, actually speaking, Mr. Nie Haisheng and Ms. Wang Yaping cut the rope in the most right moment, so make it vertical. But this seldom happens. Usually it will lie down.
Some also say horizontal landing position would actually make it easier for the astronauts to get out.
Usually, you know, that for the vertical landing, so that will be more convenient for the astronauts. But for any case, all the astronauts were well trained.
You can see the capsule is pretty charred on one side. So one thing to look at now is how the capsule will be landed. Will it land on the side or on the bottom?
We can still see the effect of the wind acting on the surface of the re-entry capsule. So the astronauts must be well trained for this environment.
And as we speak, the air unit and ground unit are racing out to the landing location. We're hearing the communications between the crew and ground staff.
Yes. As I mentioned, they are very relaxed now. And still we need several minutes for the final touchdown.
And I guess soon we'll be hearing the final landing location report. There are several times they do this forecast, right?
Yes. So usually we will have 4 predictions and 4 forecasting. So the last one will be the most accurate one, and it will guide the ground team to the right point.
And for the first time, China raised mice in a closed environment aboard Tiangong. Why is the alive up, alive down mammal model so important? And what specific biomedical questions are they trying to answer with this experiment?
Yes, actually speaking, the 4 mice were brought to the station by the Shenzhou-21 crew and go back to the Earth with the Shenzhou-20 crew. Only stay there for several days, but it's very meaningful for this time. This means that we've already mastered the necessary technologies to bring the mammals to our space station and back. So I believe that will not be the only time. So in the future, maybe other mice will be brought to our Tiangong Space Station and will stay there longer.
And the crew also successfully grew cherry tomatoes up there. What does it mean for future deep space life support systems?
That we will have the manned lunar mission soon in the next several years. So your question is quite important for our manned space program. So I think that the most important thing is to study the influence of the radiation, because that for a journey to the moon or to the other places deep into the space, so we don't have the protection of the geomagnetic field or the magnetic field of the Earth. So the radiation will be much higher, acting on the bodies of our astronauts. So we must study the influence and have the right measures of this kind of radiation.
Right. And on your right, you're getting a look at the ground unit racing to get to the landing location. On your left, a perfect view of the Shenzhou-21
So we can see the
spacecraft.
twilight, a very beautiful twilight on the Gobi Desert. And that's what we mentioned about the prediction is really important for the ground crew to guide them to the right place as soon as possible.
This mission also verified in-orbit ignition of an iconic liquid propellant, right? Why is this considered a green propulsion breakthrough? How could it shape satellite design or deep space propulsion?
Today we usually use a chemical propulsion system, which has bigger thrust but lower efficiency. So the electric or the ionized propulsion system can have higher efficiency. Actually speaking, the specific impulse will be much more higher than the chemical propulsion system. Actually speaking, the Tianhe-1 core module use the Hall effect thruster to maintain its altitude. Although the thrust is very small, but that it has very high efficiency and save a lot of propellants of the Tiangong spacecraft.
And talk to us more about the recovery team. There's air unit and there's also ground unit.
Yes, we have 4 to 5 helicopters. The code is called Xiong, and we have the ground team. The code is called Yongshi, and they work in coordination by the command system. And usually, you can see this is a video captured by the ground team, and they will get to the right point. And we have the medics from the astronaut system to care about the health conditions of our astronaut. Oh, we have the fourth one, the prediction. The fourth prediction.
This is the final landing report.
动2秒，落点纬度，北纬41度39分，动9秒，北纬41度39分，动9秒。北京第4次落点预报已发出，雄鹰。
雄鹰明白，落点精度为东经1度动度，动5分，动2秒，落点纬度为北纬41度39分，动9秒。
You may notice a detail that the Xiong or helicopters just repeat the longitude and latitude of the coordinate. This is because it's too important for the ground team to get to the right point.
Xiong, the Falcon, is the air unit, like you said, and Mengshi, the Warrior, is the ground unit of the recovery team.
Exactly.
And among the crew, Wu Fei is the youngest Chinese taikonaut to perform a spacewalk. Is this a deliberate strategy to train a new generation of spacewalkers? How does the training pipeline differ for younger taikonauts?
Well, I'm very proud of him because that he's the youngest one. Also, he's the second astronaut from Inner Mongolia.
Your hometown.
Exactly. So he's so young. I believe that in the future he can conduct more challenging missions. As Mr. Yang Liwei, our space hero, has already mentioned, the third batch of our astronauts will play a leading role in the future human missions to the moon.
And the Shenzhou-21, oh, it's very close to ground.
Soon to touch down.
回收2号跟踪结束。
So this is a video from the helicopter, obviously.
青山跟踪结束。
Great.
There,
返回舱着陆。
a visual confirmation of touchdown. Shenzhou-21 has returned to planet Earth as it is now back home. An excellent sight to see. Welcome home, Shenzhou-21.
东风，我是北京。
And you can see the capsule is being enveloped in a cloud of sand kicked up by the impact.
So that is the smoke of the solid rocket engines. As I mentioned, we have 4 very small rocket motors, solid rocket motors, at the bottom of our reentry capsule.
琼英、猛士按
So they have
预定方案
softened
实
by
施自主
firing
启动。
thrusters.
琼英
The 4 rocket motor can reduce the speed from about 6 to 7 kilometers to less than 2 meters per second.
Looks like it has landed on the bottom. And the helicopter has arrived very quickly, almost immediately after touchdown. And again, as we speak, the ground team are racing out to the capsule, now in recovery.
落点地质群岛
It seems that it's vertical.
Yes.
So,
What a rare sight.
wow, Mr. Wu
Perfect
Fei,
landing.
Mr. Wu Fei also made history. So he is the 3rd one, just after Nie Haisheng and Wang Yaping, and made a vertical landing.
A
So
perfect
they
landing.
will feel much more convenient than lying down,
More comfortable as
more
well.
comfortable.
我是北京，东风请讲。
空路分队
And staffs
已到达着陆
Are
现场。
speeding their way to the capsule from all
从
directions. They will now begin to make their way to the touchdown location, as you can see right there.
You know, that it's duty completely on the 02. So the first time, Mr. Nie Haisheng, the second time, Wang Yaping, and this is some third time, 02 is Mr. Wu Fei. And he must cut the rope in the right moment, no earlier, no later.
Perfect timing there.
Yeah.
There you have it. Shenzhou-21 touched down safely at the Dongfeng landing site in the Gobi Desert in the Inner Mongolia region at around 8:12 p.m. local time on May 29th. The Shenzhou-21 crew left Earth nearly 7 months ago when the weather was getting a bit cold in October. And now they're back to Earth in May when Mother Nature is bursting back to life.
猛士报告。
We've got some good comm checks and